recognition the students from St. Augustine's College in Karu. We have two daughters of our esteemed colleague, Honorable Robert Yo. His two daughters are here in the gallery. Far Bob Yo, who apparently is also the head girl, and now Bob Yo. You're welcome. Honorable Yo, you are clapping for your kids, right? Stand up for recognition. Be proud father. Any petition? Gentleman from Alimosho, the biggest local government in Nigeria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm Honorable Olufemi Bandele Adebanjo. I represent Alimosho Federal Constituency of Lagos State and Immigration. I have a copy petition from Mr. G. against the National Industrial Court, against the police and restatement of our clients in the community. Mr. Speaker, sir, the petition over it is where the Service Commission fired about 10 workers which are no more on probation. The probation is supposed to last for 2 years and they bring the commission for 4 years. We also have a court judgment advising the police commission to reinstate the fired officers, but the commission has since refused to do so. And we have a petition before us, Mr. Speaker, that the public petition committee can investigate and order the police commission to restate the workers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Relay your petition. Honorable Leader. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I'm Jude Isaiah, representing people of ECO, Ikobawaka Federal Constituency. I'm from Edo State. I have two petitions here from members of my constituents. One of them is from a constable, Fred Ehindaro. He's appealing to the House to please intervene on his dismissal from the force, and the second one is also from one is Rian Loki, lecturer at the Nigeria Maritime University, Delta State, and is also appealing to the House to look into his unlawful dismissal as a lecturer from the Maritime University. Permission to lay the petition, Mr. Speaker.
Please go ahead and lay your petition. Honorable Venkaru.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Benjamin Okiseka. I represent the good people of Nigeria, starting from then the federal constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Abia State. I have two petitions from two organizations. One is from Movement for the Survival of the who are complaining that there is fraud and mismanagement of Ogoni Green by hydrocarbon pollution remediation projects. They are alleging that the sort of there is nothing on ground to show for that. And secondly, there's another petition from Whistleblowers Network complaining that one Anthony Abonama, DGSON, has enriched himself while in office by operating foreign accounts and seeking US permanent residence in preparation to flee justice. The matters speak for themselves, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Police. I seek your permission to lay the petitions.
Yeah, please go ahead. Honorable Dederi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Haruna Isa Dederi, representing Kara Erogo Federal Constituency, Mr. Speaker, from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I have a petition against certain alleged infractions by the Nigeria Customs Service Board, presented on behalf of Mr. Kayode Adebayo and 7 others through Chike Onyali Chambers. Mr. Speaker, may I seek your leave to lay the petition?
Honorable Victor Kolade, can you please approach? Honorable Kolade here, approach the chair, please. Honorable Dederi, please, you may lay your petition. All petitions referred to Committee on Public Petitions.
Point of order. Point of order.
Who's raising a point of order? Honorable, okay, Chief Whip, Honorable Mongono.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Monguno. I represent Marte Monguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, I have a matter of urgent public importance for which I am craving the indulgence of this honorable house to take it now, consider it as matter of urgent public importance, suspend our relevant rules and take it now. I'm coming under Order 8, Rule 4.1, and the matter is with regard to the dastardly Boko Haram attack on Auno village in Borno State, wherein about 30 villagers were killed, 18 vehicles burnt, and about 2 vehicles full of committers were kidnapped, and up to now their whereabouts are unknown. These are the matters that I want to bring it to the attention of this House and further crave the indulgence of this House to take it now as a matter of urgent public importance. I so move.
Honorable colleagues, the Chief Whip has raised the matter under Order 8, Rule 4, Public Importance. Is there a seconder? Honorable Jagger, please second.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, my honorable colleagues. I'm Mohamed Umar Jaga, representing Alero Gondu Jaga Federal Constituency. Honorable Speaker, I rise to second the motion heavily moved by the Chief Whip of the House. I so second.
We'll take the second leg as well. Honorable Jaga, go ahead and please second the second leg that we. Well, let's put this question first, whether members find it important enough before we go to the second leg. Let's take this first leg first. Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. He's already moved for suspension. Please.
Speaker, I second the second leg of the motion that will suspend our relevant rule to enable him to take the motion now. I second.
Honorable colleagues, the Chief Whip has moved that we take this matter now, suspend our rules and take this matter, seconded by Honorable Jaga. Those in favor that we suspend our rules, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Chief Whip.
My Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members, my name is Mohamed Tahir Munguno. I represent Marte Munguno, Ganze Federal Constituency of Borno State. My motion reads thus. Recent attack by Boko Haram insurgents at Aune village, Borno State. The House notes that Aune village is situated on the Maiduguri Damaturu Road, Borno State. Also, the House notes that because of the security challenges in the northeast zone of the country, commuters on the Damaturu Maiduguri Road are compelled to suspend their journey once it is 6 p.m. Aware that Aune village is one of the spots where the Nigerian Armed Forces instructs the commuters on the Damaturu Maiduguri Road to spend the night before proceeding their journeys the next morning. Again aware that on Sunday, 9 February 2020, while commuters in their hundreds are waiting in the Aune village, the military left them to their fate or at best abandoned them. Disturbed that while the commuters were waiting to spend the night, Boko Haram insurgents attacked, kidnapped, and burned some of their vehicles. Concerned that the occupants of 2 former buses and 1 Sharon bus were kidnapped, 18 vehicles burned, and 30 people killed, including an infant. Also concerned that no super military camp exists on the Damaturu Maiduguri Road, hence exposing the commuters to danger of being killed, maimed, or kidnapped. I regret that keeping commuters in waiting is dangerous in view of the security challenges in the northeast zone of Nigeria. Resolves to direct the military authority to one spot stop the keeping of commuters overnight at a particular period on the Maiduguri Damaturu Road. Direct the military authority to allow commuters to proceed on their journey even if it is after 6 p.m. Mandate the Committee on Defense and Army to ensure compliance. I so move.
Any seconder? Honorable Osai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, distinguished honorable colleagues. I remain Honorable Osai Nicholas Osai. I represent local Kwani Federal Constituency of Delta State. I rise to second the motion as moved by the Chief Whip of this Honorable House. I so second.
Honorable, the Chief Whip, can you just put a little flesh, 2 minutes on this motion before we put the
Mr.
question?
Speaker, honorable members, I also want to draw the attention of this House that I have a co-sponsor of this motion, who is Honorable Ahmed Jaha, equally from Borno State. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is now public knowledge that on the 9th of this month, along the Maiduguri Damaturu Road, about 30 commuters who are on their way to Maiduguri but were compelled by the military authorities to spend the night in Aune village were attacked by Boko Haram insurgents. 30 of them were killed, including an infant. About 18 vehicles were burnt, and then 2 vehicles full of commuters were kidnapped, and up to now, their whereabouts are unknown. It is in the public domain, and all the media is awash with this story. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the painful aspect of this ugly, unfortunate incident is that the practice is whenever it is 4 o'clock commuters that have commenced their journey from other parts of the country to Maiduguri will normally not reach Maiduguri before 6 o'clock. So commuters are now compelled to spend the night in one village called Auno, about 15 kilometers to Maiduguri. So sometimes you can find about 100 vehicles, sometimes even as much as 200 vehicles spending the night in Auno village, preparatory to their departure to Maiduguri the next morning in compliance with the directive of the military authorities. But the unfortunate thing is that ordinarily it behoves on the military authority, in view of the security challenges that we are having in that part of the country, to give adequate security and protection to these commuters that were forced to spend the night in that village based on the directive of the military authorities. But unfortunately, once it is 4 o'clock and the commuters are amassed in that spot, the military will just close the gate and then go to Maiduguri before coming back the following day. So this exposed these commuters, mass of commuters, to a lot of vulnerabilities. And Boko Haram cashed on that opportunity, came and attacked those commuters that were amassed in that village, killed about 30 of them, kidnapped 2 buses full of commuters, and then burned about 18 vehicles. So in view of that, we are now craving for the indulgence of this honorable house, being representative of the people, and security and welfare of the people being the primacy of any government, to now direct the military authorities to give enough security to commuters that were forced to compel or were compelled to spend the night in Aune village, so that they will not be exposed to attack by Boko Haram. Or in the alternative, if they cannot give enough security to those commuters that were forced to spend the night in Aune village, allow them to proceed to Maiduguri, so that they will not be exposed to Boko Haram attack. Or establish a super camp in Aune village, so that adequate security will be given to the people that are compelled to spend the night in that village. So, in view of that, I am urging my colleagues to support this motion, to borrow the word of Honorable Osai with the spirit of life. Thank you.
Honorable Robert Yo.
I represent the people of Kwande and Oshogo and from Benue State. Mr. Speaker, I rise second the motion as moved by, and I would like to add.
No, I wanted you to contribute a little bit to the issue for just a few seconds. Your children are upstairs. They have to know the kind of work you do here.
Mr. Speaker, it is rather unfortunate that our security apparatus have decided to use checkpoints as a major way of checking the inflow of whatever it is into cities. It is truly unfortunate because that has created by itself a danger of gathering people in one place, easy targets for attack. Mr. Speaker, some years ago it was said that the checkpoints should be removed and rather gadgets should be used to check the flow of arms into cities. We would think that it would be more proper if going forward, our security operators are advised to use technology rather than brute human beings to check inflow of security of arms into towns and cities. Speaker has also submitted.
Thank you. As usual, very vibrant, important contribution by Honorable Yo. Honorable Maiwa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Aki Folari Maiwa Samuel. I represent Ileoluji Okegbo, Odigbo Federal Constituency, I am from the Sunshine State, Ondo. Mr. Speaker, it is sad and very unfortunate that on daily basis we discuss the issue of insecurity, kidnapping, armed robbery, everything. It shows the level of insecurity in this nation. It shows people saddled with the responsibility of governance, from councillor to the last person, that would not be able to protect our people. When you talk of security, when you cannot secure a nation, when you cannot secure lives and property, what else? It means there will be crisis, there will be anarchy. For example, Mr. Speaker, last Thursday in my constituency in Ileolu town, 2 policemen were hit. One of the policemen that were shot, his brain, the brain came out, they scattered his skull. And for now, about 3 of them are still in the hospital. Mr. Speaker, 2 weeks ago, the Oba of my town, the wife, 2 children, and the driver were kidnapped. Where are we going? So what we are saying is, rather than coming here on daily basis, I think this house, in conjunction with the executive, we must put in place a platform that will ensure the safety of our people. We are talking of, we are always talking of what happened. We should talk of how to curb these things. The intelligent gathering system is very low. When you gather information, it should be used to either prevent crime, or we use it to arrest those people that are involved in criminality. But if we just come here on a daily basis, we continue to talk about insecurity, armed robbery, kidnapping. I don't think it is fair. We are not fair to our people. Last week, people were talking, said a lot of things about the shift, the service, whether some of them should resign, maybe they are becoming overstate. But the truth of the matter is, all of us, based on your leadership, we must look for a way of coping this thing. It's not as if these people, they are not agents, they are human beings like us. And people around them don't know these people. So that's really call for the issue of this state policing. If we have people around there, the Obas, the traditional rulers, the religious leaders, everybody, the altars will be informed. So, and everybody, security is not the responsibility of one person. It is a joint task, just like you have said. So I just pray that all of us, God will save us, and as much as possible, we must try everything possible to see that we protect our people. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairman, Business and Rules, Honorable Fulata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Krikasamba, Guni Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, throughout Yobe and Borno states, there is this tendency by security operatives to block the road completely and stop motorists from passing at particular hours. This tendency or this practice has created a situation where many vehicles queue up and stay in one place for very long hours. And these security checkpoints are normally manned by 3 or 4 poorly equipped military and/or police personnel. And this also creates a soft target. Boko Haram elements and other incidents, all they want is they want to create panic. They attack those targets so that the news will go out that they have made an impact. So, Mr. Speaker, part of our resolution should be to stop this practice henceforth. No more piling of vehicles, long queue of vehicles, 50, 30, sometimes even 100 in one spot for a long time. This practice should be stopped. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yeah, you bring an amendment to that effect. We'll just take 3 more so that we can rapidly move on. Honorable Jaha.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, Amen Jaha Babao is my name. Chibok Dambuwa Goza Federal Constituency is where I represent. Mr. Speaker, as you are aware, and the entire House is aware, my voice is low today, not because of anything, because I went to the scene in person. I went to Maiduguri to attend 4 wedding ceremonies of my younger brothers and sisters, but my celebration mood was completely bastardized after I heard what happened in Auno. I went there in person and I saw it. And I had the privilege of having a direct encounter with a villager that is more or less an eyewitness to that particular attack. And the most touching aspect of that particular attack is that it recorded wasting 30 or more than 30 lives, including an infant. According to that particular source, as the insurgents were trying to drag the mother of that particular infant, the infant was crying, holding her wrapper. By the time they realized that he is going to constitute nuisance for them to go away with the mother, they decided to pull him and put him in the fire. Mr. Speaker, that was so pathetic. On the part of properties damaged, more than 20 vehicles were reduced to ashes. And each vehicle is containing valuables, millions of naira, worth millions of naira. Unfortunately, among the vehicles that were destroyed, there was a military tanker carrying AGO and other related petroleum products. So I don't want to understand, how can a military roadblock block a military tanker and refuse that particular tanker access to Maiduguri town? Another thing, which is so pathetic also, by the time they locked the gate, 15 minutes preceding the actual time designated for that particular closure, they left the checkpoint. And for your information, the gate linking that particular community with Damaturu was equally locked. So the commuters were left helpless. And they were exposed to this attack. And to the best of our knowledge and from the feelers we have been hearing, this attack was preventable. This attack was dodgeable. This attack was avoidable, and it was equally repellable. But failure or inability on the part of the Nigerian army to have a constructive listening of intelligence gathering from the DSS and other relevant informants in the community led to this attack. From the feelers, they have been receiving and communicating that there is a potential attack by Boko Haram insurgents, as they were sighted in community A and they are coming to community B 3 or 4 hours preceding the time of the attack. But nobody cares to do anything. So the world is watching us. I said, without fear of any contradiction, I am ready to give out my life if people in the Northeast can live in peace. The most painful thing on earth is for you to stay in your comfort zone while your constituents are dying like animals. So, Mr. Speaker, As far as I'm concerned, this is a national issue. It happened today in Borno. Only God knows tomorrow where it will happen in the 36 states of the Federation, because of negligence or complacency of our security operatives. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, there was what was introduced by the Nigerian Army known as Super Camp, is the contributing factor of all these sporadic attacks from late last year to early this year. The issue of Super Camp, or the concept of Super Camp, called for the closure and withdrawal of all military bases and military checkpoints and military formation along all major roads, and station them in one location or position. I don't think the entire security operatives were widely consulted for that particular decision. I don't think standing committees on security of this honorable chamber were consulted for them to take that decision. And to us, the end victims, is a deliberate attempt by the Nigerian Army to shield themselves against Boko Haram insurgents' attack, thereby exposing civilians to series of attacks, shielding themselves in the sense that they operate a super camp, thinking that they will be repelling attack continuously. For how long shall we be repelling attack instead of taking offensive attack? Proactive measure provide permanent solution. But by the time you sit down in a camp, you trench and cycle yourself with dicks, waiting for insurgents to come and attack you so that you can repel them. And on pages of all newspaper and other electronic media, we see XYZ has been repelled. Very unfortunate. We are not talking of repelled. We want to hear that they have succeeded.
Your time is off.
Okay, let me conclude, because I have an amendment to the motion. One,
You are even making points.
One, calling on the House Committee on Army and National Security to investigate the remote and immediate causes of this attack. Two, direct the Army Committee to investigate the rationale behind the creation of Super Camp as a measure to fight insurgents. I will lay my this thing, and I'm calling for my honorable colleagues to understand the situation we are, and our people are dying, and this attack, they are avoidable, they are preventable, they are repellable, but because of the complacency and inability or failure on the part of our security outfit, we are helpless. Please help us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Stanley.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues. My name is Honorable Adedeji Stanley Olajide, member representing Ibadan Southwest Northwest Federal Constituency. I'm from Oyo State. Here we are again, talking about loss of life of the people that we are governing. Mr. Speaker, I hope that our debate and deliberation today will not just be a lip service to our nation. It is time. I know the other day, Mr. Speaker, you raised that you are going to meet with the service chiefs to discuss the state of our nation. Here we are. I lend my voice to my colleagues from Borno. The other day, we had a similar situation in Ondo. All over the nation today, there is insecurity. Mr. Speaker, I pray that today you see the alarming situation that we are in Nigeria. Something must give way. We must do something. Otherwise, our nation will be ungovernable. Mr. Speaker, I lend my voice today to ask of you to please involve the executive. Let's come up with a situation where this country will work again. Mr. Speaker, I pray and I hope this will not be another lip service. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Mr. Speaker.
So we'll just take two more and then round up this debate, please. Honorable Magaji and then Honorable Sada.
My condolences to Governor Zulum of Borno, my colleagues here, and the entire people of Borno State for this calamity. Let me also recognize Governor Zulum for doing something different. We should commend him. I feel so much about Boko Haram. We have to look at sabotage. Some people are doing things intentionally to retard the achieved security progress we have made so far. All this crisis started when Governor Zulum can dare tell the army they were collecting bribes from these people. All these things started when Governor Zulum will go to the roadblock to see for himself what is happening for his people. Somebody has to be punished. We can't continue praising our soldiers for a wonderful job and refuse to punish those among them that are found in wanting. If we continue to look the other way, it shall come here. I feel there should be a powerful committee to start and hear from the governor of Borno State what he cannot say to the cameras, Mr. Speaker. And I believe somebody like you, Honorable Speaker, should chair that committee to speak with Zulum so that he will tell you what he cannot say publicly. And I hope, I wish the Nigerian army authorities will investigate to find out who deserves that position. Because you can't block people 100 trailers and went to sleep. Mr. Speaker, it's much more about Boko Haram. We have to start looking inwards. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, honorable colleagues.
Thank you, Honorable Magaji. Honorable Sada Soli.
Mr. Speaker, my name is Sada Soli, representing Jibia Kaita Federal Constituency. I'm from Katsina State, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this act of the military or the security at that checkpoint sounds very preposterous. Why preposterous? These people were sent there to protect the city. And at a point in time when they are protecting that city, they abandoned their protection point and left and went back to their beds. That is the preposterous aspect of it. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, it's a known fact. The threshold time for curfew in Maiduguri is 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. Why closing entrance into Maiduguri from 5 p.m.? That's another intriguing question. That what is wrong? If the threshold time for curfew in Maiduguri town is 10:30 p.m. to 6 a.m. Why closing the gate, not allowing people to access the city from 5 p.m.? Granted, there is no threshold for even the curfew. Is it not the responsibility of the military or the security to check everybody, get convinced, then then allow people to access the city, regardless the time? Is time a factor in protecting people? So my take here is, Mr. Speaker, let's advise the military authority or the security authority to review that timing for closing, accessing Maiduguri. Maybe they can extend the time. I think that's my take on this, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The minority leader has asked that he make the last contribution. Minority leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Didi Godwin Elvelu, and I represent the good people of Anocho Shumifera constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, let me thank Mongono that he brought up this motion. But you know, every day we keep repeating ourselves on this floor as it relates to insecurity. That bothers me. When beggars die, there is no comment. They heaven themselves the death of princes. I see no reason why on this floor, Mr. Speaker, we passed a resolution as it relates to the service chiefs, and nothing has been done. And if you read the motion carefully, you will see that the motion is talking about negligence, about the army officers leaving their duty posts and getting those who voted us into office to be just killed. To me, that is inhuman, and it's very bad, and it is not something that we wished or they wished in the course of them standing in the sun to vote for us. So I still stand by that call that those service chiefs have outlived their usefulness. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, last week I forwarded you a video that the soldiers in that northeast is trending. And what were they saying? That they were starving and that they were not being given anything, and that is why they are not able to do anything. And they were showcasing the arms that they had, that the Boko Haram people have more sophisticated weapons than them. It is an eyesore. We are treating it this way, but it is very bad. To think that every now and then we keep on coming here to discuss on the same matter, I think that it's hard time. State of emergency is declared in the security sector. That will help us to solve some of these problems. And it's very bad, it's very pathetic. And I wonder how people sleep in their houses, their service chiefs, and people are being slaughtered every day in Northeast. Our brothers and sisters are slaughtered. In some cases, like our colleague had just submitted, where somebody was thrown into the fire. Mr. Speaker, when you also watch the video that is trending, how the Khan chairman was killed, he was beheaded. He was beheaded, cut into pieces. This is unacceptable. And these people voted us. My worry, and I keep saying it, and it looks like a child's play, my worry is that one day, we probably all will be chased out of this chamber. Because they will say we'll keep coming here to say the same thing and the same thing and the same thing, and nothing is happening. Just last week also, just like somebody submitted, the same people went to a bank and you needed to see what happened. It was an eyesore. A human being's brain pulled out with AK-47, and most of them were slaughtered on the floor. And we call ourselves that we are Nigerians and that we should we should go into our bedroom and sleep safe and sound. It can't happen. So I think that it is hard time the right thing is done. I believe that Mr. President is a man that is empathic to the plight of Nigerians. And that was why Nigerians stood firmly and voted for him. Politics has come and passed. Now is governance. I think that we should take it as a serious matter. I still stand by the resolution of this House that the service chiefs have outlived their usefulness. They should go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Leader, you round up the debate, please.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable members, Alasan Ado Jogwa is my name. Mr. Speaker, I represent Jogwa Tudunwada Federal Constituency. I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, let me start by not only thanking the mover of the motion, which of course is an action at an appropriate time. I would like to, first of all, on behalf of the House, entire membership and leadership of this House, commiserate and condole with the government and the people of Borno State, and by extension, the government and the people of Nigeria for this very unfortunate incident that took place in Auno village, I think an outskirt of Borno municipality, Maiduguri municipality. After my condolence, Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the House, I have 2 or 3 observations to make about this motion. Enough has been discussed, day in, day out, Mr. Speaker. Our security problems is becoming out of hand. And time has come when this House as an institution must take an appropriate action to help the security infrastructure to be doing the right thing at the right time. Mr. Speaker, I may not have the knowledge. Of course, I'm not a professional in the military business. And of course, I believe a lot of our members may not have similar knowledge because they are not military men here. A lot of us are not military men. But for whatever wisdom, for whatever reasons, for whatever intelligence, military will have to now keep a checkpoint, not a checkpoint, a close point, closing an entry to a particular city for whatever reason, Mr. Speaker, is something that we must have to look at, and the military men must be told to look at this strategy, no matter how strategic that strategy is. The Auno case is only one example. There are several other examples where this kind of security checkpoints at the outskirts of major cities of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, some of these things happen. Sometimes not Boko Haram attack, sometimes an accident. A tanker, fuel tanker, while series of cars are stopped on the road, a tanker, fuel tanker can burst into fire because of this unfortunate development, and it affects so many other people, so many other commuters and motorists on the road. I want to say, Mr. Speaker, even when I'm not a military man, I know you are not a military man too. A lot of members are not military men too. But using common intelligence, even by native intelligence, this is a strategy that the military must have to look at again. They have to review it, Mr. Speaker. Review it so that we can save the lives of our people. This is an incident that was avoidable. It could have been avoided. Unfortunately, it was not avoided. I also want to stand here to say, without compromising or without undermining, without any prejudice to whatever commitment Nigerian military have in protecting the lives and property of our own people, that time has come when our military chiefs and every other military personnel in the Nigerian armed forces must rise to his responsibility so that our people can be protected and their property also protected. Because the major business of every government, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, is about the protection of the lives and property of the people. The moment a government is failing in this direction, the moment a government is failing in this commitment and this responsibility, then we have a big question mark as to the business of governance. I want to know, I want to believe, Mr. Speaker, government is doing a lot. Government is doing a lot, and the institution of the legislature is also doing a lot, because the best we can do for the military and any other institution, whether paramilitary or military, is to provide enough funding. I cannot remember a single day or a single engagement when we have any request either from the presidency or from any military any security agency requesting for funding through the appropriate means of appropriation, where this institution denied any organization, a security organization, what they require from us as a people. We have always provided that. I remember sometimes you gave a marching order, even when the House has a cause to interfere with appropriation submissions, that you told committee chairmen, especially relevant committees of security agencies, to give zero interference to the submissions of military agencies. This we are doing because we have to play our own bit. We must do our bit, and that is what we are doing to enable them, give them necessary impetus so that they can act to protect our people. Mr. Speaker, in the end, I would like to say that the government, on the part of the government, which is ably led by Mr. President, who by history is also a military man, and I believe he has not forgotten his military background.
The president has to do much more, engage much more our military infrastructure to see how we can really improve in the protection of our lives of our people and protection of their property. I also want to share with ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure you are aware, part of the proactiveness of Buhari's administration, who is now outside this country in far Ethiopia, because of his commitment, because of the concern, because of his appeal and attachment. He has traveled straight, Mr. Speaker, from Ethiopia. Mr. President has traveled straight. He is now in Maiduguri, very unlike his own kind of coming back home. Instead of him flying into Abuja, he has flown straight to Maiduguri to identify with the people of Maiduguri, to identify with the government of Maiduguri, and to tell Nigerians that Mr. President is so much concerned and worried about this sad development. This is a very good example, and I want to commend Mr. President for doing what he has done today, because he has now convinced and proved to the world that a single life of Nigerian matters to him very importantly, especially when a claim is now made that about 30 Nigerians were lost through this unfortunate development. I thank Mr. President for doing that, and I hope he will keep the flag flying. And I also believe that his engagement there will involve addressing some of these issues that must be addressed, so that we can come to the end of these unfortunate things happening all over, left, right, and center, top and bottom, Mr. Speaker. I thank the mover of the motion. I also thank you for giving me opportunity to speak. And I also want to second, when Honorable Jah comes to move his amendment, that we have to mandate our relevant committees here to investigate. Let them find out robustly, proactively, what is really the problem. If there is something the institution of the legislature can do, we must have to do it, Mr. Speaker. Make no mistake about it. Thank you, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Honorable colleagues, we have to be mindful, time management, it's 1:45. We have another motion of urgent public importance, and we're not even on the order paper yet. So we're going to wrap up this debate. What's your point of order? Honorable Chinedu, what's your point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My point of order is order 8-5. Order on... Mr. Speaker, I just noticed that this very row has been always forgotten in sensitive issues of this nation. From the other end to this other end, I've spoken twice. We have been raising hands. Mr. Speaker, we appeal passionately so that you'll be remembering us. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chinedu. There is no obligation for every roll to be called. In fact, I've done more than enough. But in normal cases, if there's an issue like this, you pick on 3-4 people to talk. We've had about 12 speakers already, and we have to move on. There's something called time management. There are many times the people on this row complain that they're not being called, and then now you are complaining that you're not being called. But your point is noted. We will try and spread the joy as best as we can. Consider point of order by leader. What's your consider point of order?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Toby Okechukwu. I represent Aneri of Gwoji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, I come under Section 39 and Section 14 of the Constitution. One is that the primary responsibility of government is security and welfare of its citizens. Two is that every citizen shall enjoy the right to free speech. Mr. Speaker, if security is the primary responsibility of government, we can't vacate that primary responsibility and go to any other issue. Mr. Speaker, you remember that the death of 30 Nigerians.
Okay, are you raising a point of order, or are you trying to contribute to the debate through the back door? Your point of order is that security and what was it again? Section 39. Security is the primary responsibility of government. Point of order sustained. Amendments.
Amendments, sir.
and I'm sure about 15 amendments here, and I'm sure most of these things are captured by Honorable Monguno, but we'll try and go through them speedily so that we can move on to the second motion of urgent public importance. Honorable Ja, what's your amendment?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My first amendment is for the House to mandate House committees on army and national security to investigate the remote and immediate causes of the attack on 9th February 2020. Mr. Speaker, the second amendment is for the House to mandate Standing Committee on Army to investigate the rationale behind the establishment of super camps and withdrawal of troops from various military formations on major roads. So these are the two amendments. Thank you.
Okay, any seconder to... I don't know if we take the two together. Honorable Reverend Francis.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable Reverend Francis Ejirogane Waive, Ugele Udu, Delta State. I rise to second the amendment, two amendments as ably moved by my colleague, Honorable Ahmed. I so second.
Those in support of both amendments, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. I'm coming. Honorable Mansour Soro.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My honorable colleagues, I remain Mansour Manusoro, a member representing Darazuganjo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from Bauchi State. My amendment is to the effect that the Honorable House should mandate the relevant House Committee to visit the families of those killed in this attack, particularly the families of the young lady, Fatima Mohammed, an undergraduate of the University of Maiduguri, and that of the infant child that was killed and burned to ashes in that attack. I so submit.
Honorable Chinedu, can you second? We want to take care of that role very well. Honorable Chinedu. Where is he? The person that raised the point of order that they're not being recognized is not there. You see now. Okay, everyone, you can stand up. You can stand in place for him and second.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Engineer Solomon Maren is my name, and I represent the good people of Mangu Bokos Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from the home of peace and tourism. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion that is ably moved by my colleague. I so second, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Those in support, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say nay. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Booker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Ibrahim Mohammed Bukar, representing the good people of Dikwa, Kondoga, and Mafa. My one amendment, Mr. Speaker, is lives were lost, and there's nothing anybody can do about that except we should pray for them. But properties were also lost and houses were burnt. So my amendment is for the House to mandate National Emergency Management Agency to provide relief materials to those that lost their properties and their houses. I so submit, sir. Thank you.
Honorable, you want to second? Go ahead.
Mr. Speaker, sir, honorable members, my name is Honorable Barrister Bakari Rema Idris. I represent Pikafune. I'm from Yobe State. I second the motion, heavily moved by honorable member.
Thank you, Honorable Idris. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Igberongwe, what's your amendment, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Muftau Egberongwe, Apapa Federal Constituency, Lagos State. Mr. Speaker, a lot has been said on the issue of insecurity and the military. I am only going to add that there is need to strengthen our intelligence gathering mechanism so that we can begin to nip in the bud this dastard act even before it happens and not fighting back each time it does. Thank you.
Honorable Michael, can you second, please?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Honorable Dr. Michael Enyong, member representing Uyo, Udwan, Seletai, Federal Constituency. I am from Akwa Ibom State. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as heavily moved. I so second.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable colleagues, please, let's listen to the amendments attentively so we don't just pass amendments for the sake of passing amendments. Let's pay attention, please. Honorable Toby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues. Toby Okechukwu, representing an area of Goji River Federal Constituency from Enugu State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment.
Honorable Toby, I've just looked at your amendment. It's actually not an amendment to the motion. No, it's not an amendment to the motion. And it has already been done. Don't worry, we'll do that on Tuesday. We did it at the executive session, we'll do that, and it's a security matter. No, we won't take that amendment. How about? Honorable Toby, I think you're in your elements today, but I'm more than ready. Now I have to read the amendments carefully before I even call on. Honorable Ilumelu, this is your amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I remain Honorable Ndudu Godwin Elumelu, and I represent the good people of Anyocho Shimili Federal Constituency. I'm from Delta State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is moving that state of emergency be declared in the security sector. I so move.
Any seconder? No seconder? Oh. Okay. I will give you
State, and I represent Kaura Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion ably moved by the minority leader.
Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The nays are sounding. Honorable, because that's why I said people should listen carefully. Honorable Lumelu's motion. Those in support of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Those against, please say nay. No, I don't want people just saying aye and nay for the sake of saying aye and nay. Honorable Icheu Balarabe. What was Honorable Lumelu's? Because I think I heard you say aye. What was the amendment? Honorable Shehu Balarabe is who I asked, not you, Honorable Leke. Why are you asking? You're asking your neighbors. So you just said aye for. Okay, let me for the benefit of everybody. Honorable Lumelu's amendment is that a state of emergency be declared in the security sector. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Fulata.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Abubakar Hassan Fulata. I represent Berniwa, Greek Assembly, Good Defender Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is that the practice of creating long queues at security checkpoints which subjects commuters to extortion and also attack by insurgents be stopped henceforth. That's my so move. Thank you.
Honorable Isaka, please second the amendment and tell us the amendment you are seconding.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I'm Rep. Isiaka Ibrahim. I represent the very good people of Ewekuru Federal Constituency. I rise, Mr. Speaker, to second the motion as ably moved by Honorable Fulata on the stoppage of checkpoints across the country, across the nation. I so second, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Bamidele Salam has an amendment.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Bamidele Salam. I represent the fantastic people of the North, the South, Egbedo Rejibo Federal Constituency of Osho State. Mr. Speaker, my amendment is that the relevant committees of this House be mandated to investigate the incident of low morale among troops fighting in the Northeast. Because like we saw the unfortunate incident that happened in this community in Maiduguri, from reports, forwarded by several persons who are eyewitnesses, soldiers were ready to move in, but there is an obvious low morale among them. We saw a video where some soldiers were complaining of lack of food, lack of water, and medicine today. Very heart-rending. So, Mr. Speaker, I think we should look into the incident of low morale amongst troops in the Northeast, and those committees should report back to the House within 2 weeks. I so move, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Ali Ahmed, can you please second?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Nasir Ali Ahmed. I represent Nasarawa Federal Constituency and I'm from Kano State. Mr. Speaker, I rise to second the motion as ably moved by my honorable colleague. I still second it.
Moved by who?
Moved by my honorable colleague, Mr. Speaker.
Which of your honorable colleagues?
Honorable Bamidele Salam.
You are being distracted. You are being distracted. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. The last amendment is from Honorable Adekoya. Honorable, please move your amendment.
Yes, my amendment is on. I am not persuaded that these people are not being harvested for Boko Haram to come and attack them. Because I cannot imagine a particular station where you ask people to stay here and you abandon them. To me, they are being harvested so that Boko Haram people cannot come in.
And two, we are talking of people that were killed. What of those that were carted away? I mean, we from the motion here, we saw that 2 Hummer buses and a Sharon bus were kidnapped. Those that were kidnapped, we have not said anything about them.
Amendment. Honorable Chidoka, can you second, please?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, honorable colleagues. Obinna Chidoka, representing Idemili North, Idemili South, Federal Constituency of Anambra State. As directed by the Speaker, I'm asked to second the motion as moved by my able colleague. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Before I put the question, honorable colleagues, today is Honorable Mongonu's birthday, the mover of the motion. Happy birthday. And I believe it's also Honorable Zakaria here. It's also Honorable Zakaria's birthday. So those in support of the motion moved by Honorable Mongonu, who's celebrating his birthday today, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Shehu Barabe, what's your point of order?
It's not point of order.
I believe you have a motion of urgent public importance. Yeah, go ahead and move it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, my name is Shehu Balarabe. I represent Giwa and Brunungwari Federal Constituency from Kaduna State. I am from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, I rise to stand under Order 8, Rule 4, and also to urge this honorable House to suspend under rules to enable me present my motion titled Urgent Need to Tackle the Endurance Spate of Armed Attack and Related Criminal Activities in Bindungwari and Gyo local government areas. Thank you. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay. The road has always complained. Honorable Luke.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Onofio Luke is my name. I represent the people of Etinan, Nsetibo, and Surubio Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I rise to second the motions ably moved by my colleague, Abu Balarabe, and that matter of urgent public importance, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. The ayes have it. Honorable Shehu Barabe, please move your... I'm assuming we've allowed for suspension as well to take it now. So move your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Honorable colleagues, I remain Shehu Balarabe. I represent Giwa and Brunungwari Federal Constituency. I'm from Kaduna State. Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, the title of our motion, as earlier stated, is the urgent need to tackle endurance threat of armed attack and related criminal activities in Birnungwari and Gyo local government areas in Kaduna State. Note that the welfare and security of lives and properties of citizens is the primary responsibility of government as stipulated by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Also note that no country can achieve any reasonable economic and political growth or development without prioritizing and securing the life and properties of her citizens, as well as visitors alike. Aware of the endurance and rising cases of armed attack across the country, particularly in Birnungwari and Giwa local government areas in Kaduna State, which has continued since 2016 to date. Equally aware that particularly the entire wards of Dogondawa, Kazage, Kutemeshi, Koyallo, Tapani, Magajingari 3, Kakangi, Gayam, Randagi, in Birnungwari local government, and also Galadimawa, Kidandan, Idasu, Shika, and Giwa town in Giwa local government areas of Kaduna State have been ravaged with a series of attacks of armed bandits who indulge in kidnapping, robbery, killing, raping of women, cattle rustling, and other related crimes also on daily basis. Alarmed, between January 2016 to May 2019, over 588 persons have been killed, and over 27,465 people have been displaced from their homes, and over 3,251 houses have been deserted. More than 10,401 hectares of arable farmland have been abandoned. Over 708,909,200 naira worth cash, kidnapping ransom, vehicles, motorcycle, cow and goat, etc. have been lost across the entire world of Birnungwari local government areas. Further worried, the most recent activities of these bandits last week in Randagi and Kakangi ward in Birnungwari local government areas, where they invaded and killed 12 people, injured over 100 people, kidnapped a lot of persons, and burned down several houses. Just yesterday, they invaded Bakali village in Kidandan ward in Giwa local government area and killed 20 people, burned several cars, worth of all. They went ahead to burn alive who run into their houses for safety, right in their homes. Concerned that the situation have negatively impacted on agricultural and economic activities in the affected world, resulting in joblessness, hunger, health epidemic, and untold hardship on the people who are mostly seeking refuge in public primary schools and homes of their relatives within and outside the state. Further concerned that some of the interlinked roads, such as linking Birnungwari to Funtua, la local government area in Katsina State, and also Kaduna to Birnungwari, cannot be accessed by commuters for fear of being attacked, robbed, kidnapped, or killed. Acknowledged and commend the effort so far made by the federal government, the Emir of Birnungwari, and most especially the Kaduna State government led by His Excellency Malam Nasru Ahmed El-Rufai, the governor of Kaduna State, who in affiliation with the security agencies are seeking ways to curtail the situation, including establishing the Air Force detachment at Birnungwari. What is that, despite the current efforts of the government and security agencies, the armed bandits have continued to attack the communities within the affected local government with little or no resistance. Your Excellency, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, resolved to urgent
I urge the federal government to prevail on the security agencies and also tax the Inspector General of Police, the Chief of Army Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, and the head of other security agencies involved to deploy more personnel and also intensify their operation within Birnungwari and Giwa local government areas of Kaduna State and quickly restore normalcy in the area. Also urge the House Committee on Disaster Management to visit the affected local government areas to assess the situation by meeting and interacting with the relevant stakeholders in the state and local government areas, visiting displaced persons and report back to the House within 2 weeks. Also urge the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, as well as relevant disasters management agencies like National Emergency Management Agency and National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internal Displaced Persons, and Ministry to quickly intervene by assessing the victims who are in need of food, Medicare, cloth, shelter, and other relief material. I so submit, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Maki, you have the second.
Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I am Abubakar Maki Eleman. I represent Malam Madori Kaugama Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues, I'm from Jigawa State. I read this afternoon to heavily second the motion moved by Honorable Shehu Balarabi. I so second. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable Balarabi. Okay, so we'll just put the question. Those in support, please say aye. Those against, please say nay. Ayes have it. Honorable members, first business of the day is the reading of 15 bills, and I invite the clerk to read their short title.
Honorable members, Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Compulsory Free Universal Basic Education Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Chartered Institute of Environment and Safety Management Examination Bill 2020, first reading. National Health Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Outsource of Contract of Employment Bill 2020, first reading. National Agency for Albinism and Hypopigmentation Examination Bill 2020, first reading. Northwest Development Commission Bill 2020, first reading. Federal Medical Center, Jeba, Kwara State, Examining Bill 2020, first reading. Pension Reform Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Criminal Code Act Amendment Bill 2020, first reading. Cause Sanctity Preservation Bill 2020, first reading. Sheriffs and Civil Process Act Amendment Bill 2020. Federal Medical Center, Plenary, Gombe State, filing Bill 2020, first reading. Patents and Designs Repealing and Enactment Bill 2024 reading. Federal Medical Center, Mubi, Adamawa State, Assembly Bill 2020, first reading.
Honorable colleagues, can we take a quick 15-minute break and be here back here 1:35? Chairman, Business and Rules.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Abubakar Safulata. I represent Brniwa, Krika Sama, Woody Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I'm from Jigawa State. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House do adjourn to 1:35 p.m. I so move.
Honorable Patterson, please, can you second that we go on our break?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My distinguished colleagues, I am Comrade Peter Amhios, the J.M. Patterson, representing the great people of Akoko-Edo Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, I am from the politically stable Edo State. I move a second motion that will proceed on break for 15 minutes as moved by the Chairman, Rules and Business. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable colleagues, the House is adjourned to 1:35. Please be back here at 1:35.